Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, this past week, I didn't do that well. I haven't been doing that well the last couple weeks. The morning plays have been getting me. Almost every loss I've taken out in the last few weeks has been a morning play. I try to be patient. I try to, no matter what I do, it's just the first play of the day gets me. And sometimes I wait out the first half an hour. Sometimes I jump the gun. Sometimes I think that something's going to happen and it doesn't. It feels like every time I jump into my first play of the day, it just does the opposite thing. So I did finish the week with 12 wins, 6 losses for a win rate of 66.67%, which is way below what I want to be. I want to be at 85% every week, but sometimes it is what it is. So with that said, I'm just going to jump into and get into the plays. Gonna go through these pretty quick. So let's see, traded his room on the 12th, which was Monday, right? Yeah, 12th. I said SPY puts into 580, which was up here, right at this area right here, because we had a massive gap up and we usually fade right at open. So usually I wait out the first half an hour on the first trading day of the week, but when we have circumstances like this, a massive gap up or a massive gap down, I'm going to jump into it because they usually end up going the other way, because we had we gap up from what, 564 to 5, almost like a $17 gap up. I mean, that's ridiculous. And we're going to give it back, but kind of surprised we didn't give more back. I thought we'd be down to 576, 574, at least test this 573 area in here, but we just rocketed because of the tariff news. But regardless, I said I was going to take puts at open, and as soon as I think I took it underneath like the 581 area or something, I'm not quite sure exactly where I took it, but I took the 580 puts at $1.79. They went from $1.79 to $3, so that ended up being a very good play on SPY, because SPX was actually, I do remember this. I thought SPX was going to be very expensive, because when we have massive gap ups like this, SPX ends up being $25-$30 at the money versus being 12 to 15 max. So I didn't even look, and after I took the first play, I looked and it was cheap. So I was very, very surprised. So the next play, I did take SPX puts. I took the 57.75 puts at 1026, which was right here. Got a bounce to VWAP, came back down. Actually, bounced to VWAP, came back down, bounced again, came back down, making a little bit of a bear flag. Once I get underneath the 578.75 area, that's when I grabbed the 57.75 puts at 690, and they went from 690 to $13 right there. So that ended up being a really good play. Then I took calls at 1225, which is right here. Didn't break new lower day. Instead, we held the 578 area. We came back up to VWAP, testing it for the fourth time. 1, 2, 3. I guess you could say fourth. Fifth time, it pushed through. So I was banking on it was going to push through VWAP, and it did. We took the 58.25 calls at 620, and they went from $6.20 to $21 plus, making it a nice 200% move on that. So definitely was a great play. Great day on Monday. Starting out the week like that, these wicks are ridiculous. I mean, my chart, Tosh, as to say, is terrible with these wicks, because these wicks screw up your charts. Without that wick, I wouldn't be like looking at small action up here. I mean, these wicks just mess with the charts. I really can't stand that crap. Wish Tosh would do something, because you look at E-Trade or something else, you don't see them. It's mostly on Toss. They need to get their crap together. But anyways, then Tuesday, let's see, the 13th, I sit in the trade ideas room. SPY calls with 584, which is right up did break 584. I waited. I did not take any of this. I'm not quite sure why I didn't take that. Where did we open before that? Flat. Now I think there might have been something hourly. If I'm looking over on the side. Oh yeah, we've been. What did I say? 584. Yeah, hourly looked like it was gonna break out. Not really, because the hourly is showing 586, 587. I don't know why I picked 584. I don't know. I think I was just going based off this previous day's high or previous day's pre-market high. Yeah, right up here. Thinking if we just break that, we're gonna go. But I didn't take calls. I don't know why I didn't, but I waited until 10:43, which is right. Did I buy the dip? I think I bought the dip. When it pulled back, I think I bought the dip. I think I bought the dip at I bought the 58.90 calls at 750, and they went from 750 to 1750. So that ended up being a good play. Yeah, got $1, $2 play out of that. Okay, I bought the dip, I guess. I do remember a couple of days I did buy the dip. Then I bought calls again at 1237, which is right here. Break over the 588. The 5900 calls at 690, and they went from 690 to 840. Definitely got a play out of that. Then I took calls again at 259, which is right here. This 589 level, this is what I was looking at on the hourly. That liquidity zone from 589 to 590. I was thinking, okay, if we get over this 588.50 area, we're going to shoot to 590, get into that liquidity zone, but we didn't. We stayed shy underneath it, but I was able to get a play out of it. I got the 5900 calls again at 750, and they went from 750 to 920. So not much of a play, but yeah, my chart's all messed up. I mean, if I just took this candle right out, see the chart's much cleaner. But yeah, Wednesday, the 16th. Was Wednesday the 16th? No, I skipped Wednesday and Thursday. I didn't post anything Wednesday and Thursday. One of the days I had a very bad day. And I just got away from the computer and just called it a day. And I think that was the 14th. Let's see. Traded his room on the 14th. I said SPY calls off a 589, which is I was still looking for the liquidity zone. Flush, because market makers are gonna pop it or dump it into liquidity zones, because that's where all the money is. That's where they can grab all the stops, and that's where they can load or dump. And so I thought for sure we were gonna pop into that. And once it got to 589, I think I took calls. I have to look. So this next 2 days is gonna be kind of hard to call. Yeah, I took the 589, the 59. 25 calls at 9:35. So yeah, as soon as it broke 589, that's when I jumped in. And as soon as I jumped in, it dumped on me. So I took the 59.25 calls at 660, and I think I stopped out. Yeah, I did. Oh, this is the one I took a bunch of losses on. Oh yeah, okay. This was the really bad day. Then I took puts at 10:12, which is right here. Bounced up the VWAP, came back down. Once it broke below 587, that's when I grabbed the puts. I grabbed the 58.60 puts at 750, and they probably went to $10 on that drop right there. I don't know what they went to. I'm just gonna guess on the next 2 days. Then I took calls at 11:02. I remember this. I bought 5,900 calls at 6:30. Then I averaged down at 11:09. So yeah, I think I bought 11. Yeah, I probably bought up here, and then I probably averaged down right around the 587-ish area. And when it flushed through, I think this is the one I stopped out on. Yeah, I did. I stopped out. Yeah. So yeah, I bought up here, I think, and then I added down here, and it flushed through the lower day, and I stopped out. And then I took calls again, because it did the same thing at 12:38. 12:38, right here. 12:38. I grabbed calls up here. The 5,900 calls at 650. Up here. No, actually, no. I remember this. I bought it at VWAP, and it flushed through VWAP, and I added Yeah, I bought the 5,900 calls at 650 at VWAP, and I added more at 5, and then it flushed through and I stopped out. So yeah, I mean, this one was a pisser because I got it averaged down, I stopped out, and it went my way and it went green. So that was kind of annoying. But this one I added. I should not have bought it at the VWAP, but I did, and I added, which made it to actually this is the one I did do well on. Wait a minute. Yeah, 1113. 1113. Oh, okay. No, I didn't stop out at this one. Okay, my confusion. Sorry. So I did buy it up here. I did add down here, and I did take off, and it did end up going green. Okay, this one I did not take a loss on. It was this one. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, so I think I got it up here, and I added thinking we were going to hold the range. We flushed through, and it got bought up quickly, and it didn't pop. So I got lucky, and that one was green. That one I got out. I think it went like the 650 or $7 or something like that. So that one was a winner. The next two, yeah, because I had 2 losses, a winner, and 2 losses, right? Let's double check. Yeah, 2 losses, yeah, and 2, yeah. That's exactly what happened. So yeah, then this is the one I bought. I did buy right here, added, flushed through, VWAP, but stopped out. Then I grabbed calls again at 236, which is right here, thinking we were gonna pop. And then I got the 5,900 calls of $4, and nothing happened, and it just ended up taking a loss. So yeah, Wednesday was just a very, very bad day. I took 4 losses in a day. That was just, I don't think I've ever done that. I even remember in the room, saying in the room that I was going to revenge trade, and it backfired. So yeah, I did not do well on that day. So yeah, it is what it is. Now on to Thursday, Trader's room. On the 15th, I said SPY puts into 584, which is down here. Nothing. The first half an hour, I don't think. Did I take anything the first half an hour? No, I did. I took puts at 947. Right here. Okay, no, how did I do this day? Yeah, this is the one I took a loss. Let's see, I took a loss on Thursday and Friday, the first play of the day, and Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, 14th, 15th, 16th. Yeah, 3 days in a row I took the first play of the day with losses. So yeah. Yeah, took puts at 947, which is right here, right when it broke. I think. Oh yeah, this is the one that broke low day, and I chased it. I got it at like 840. Yeah, 840. Yeah, I chased it, and as soon as I got in, it reversed me, so I stopped out, and I just got sick of getting stopped out and dealing with SPY. So I just ignored SPY for a little bit. I saw Tesla right here. I grabbed Tesla puts. As you can see, it had red candles popped up. Tried to make new high day. It didn't. Came back down. Well, once it broke below this 337 area, that's when I grabbed 335 puts at 518, and they ended up going to $6 plus on that play right there. So that ended up being a good play. Definitely was good to get a play out of that and get away from SPY for a few minutes. And SPY has just been getting me in the morning. Then I took SPY puts at 154, which is right up here. Right up here. Now I remember why I took this, because this is the liquidity zone right here. These 2 yellow lines popped up, rejected, it came back down, ripped through it. Once it ripped through it, see what they did was they made it look like it was going to weak, and then everyone was short, right? And they put their stops up here, and they ripped them out. They flushed through the stops, and then when it pulled back, it came back into underneath 590 right here. That's when I grabbed puts. That's when I grabbed the 59.15 puts at 750. And they went from 750 to I think like $15 or something like that. So that ended up being a really good play. It did not go down to 586. This is tosses bullshit candles. It never went that low, so ignore that. But this is a legitimate candle right here. I did go down to below 589, so that ended up being a good play. So happy about that. Then on to Friday. Trading in his room, I said SPY puts into 590, which is that area again down here. I waited out. I took calls at 10:30, which is right here. 10:30. Did I get it down here? Oh, yeah, I think I did. I think I did grab it down here, thinking we were going to hold in the zone. And I bought the 59.30 call. See, this is the one I was getting confused about, because the other one I was getting confused about was this one over here, thinking that I stopped up, because I knew one of them I stopped out, and I thought it was this play right here, but no, it was Friday's play right here that I took calls down here. I just took the 59.30 calls down here at the 590. It flushed through. I stopped out, then it ripped. Yeah, that was what happened, and I was just very annoyed. But I did take calls again at 1050 right here. Yeah, I just jumped in it again. Yeah, I took it down here. It flushed through. I stopped out, but when it came back up and got above the 590 area, I jumped in it again. I mean, I jumped into the same 59.30 calls, but this time I had it at 650, and they went from 650 to $10. So that ended up recovering. Yeah, this is when I stopped out, and then it went green on me. But luckily, I just jumped right back in it. No remorse, no hesitation. I just jumped right in, and it is what it is. So then I took the last two plays on Friday weren't even SPY or Tesla. It was Meta. I took UNH. Now I took Meta calls over 635, which is at 1222 right here, because we had this nice little bounce up the VWAP, rejected it, pulled back. When it came back up, as soon as I got over VWAP, that's when I grabbed this 635 calls at 210, and they went from 210 to 265. I didn't really go far. I wasn't going to hold it, and then it finally ripped. And I have no idea what they went, but at 635, they definitely were in the money. They probably went to $5 or something, if I had to guess. Then we had UNH, which tons of inside buyer coming in. I grabbed the 290 calls at 1057, which is right here. As soon as it got over this 285 area, that's when I grabbed the calls. I grabbed the 290 calls at 215, and then went from 215 to 470 on that. Too many inside buyers. I mean, they're coming in by like tens of millions of dollars. I mean, look, I went down to 250 to get to 250. What was the low? 248.88. I mean, it was trading at $600 just a couple months ago, and it's not going to stay down at this level. This will be back up to 450 probably in a couple months or so maybe a few weeks. I don't know, but yeah, definitely was a good play. It was definitely fun to play something besides SPY on the last two plays on Friday, and hopefully I have better luck next week. SPY has just been hammering me in the morning, and I'm just gonna have to try to adapt to it and try to be more patient. But it just seems, no matter how patient I get, sometimes it just traps me. So it's just part of trading. I mean, not everything's going to work out the way you want to. The market evolves. You have to evolve with it. The market changes. You have to change with it. The market doesn't care about you. It's the market's job is to take your money, and you're just gonna. Trading is more about making money and is survival. So just done rambling. That's it. I'm not going to ramble anymore. And thanks for watching.